Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Nolan, also known as the only person who enjoyed the 2024 Mean Girls. This movie right here, controversial. And so we need to talk about that. Look, so essentially background. Mean Girls 2004 came out in 2004. Tina Fey was the main writer and main director of it. She read a book called Queen Bees and Wannabes. That's off memory. And she wanted to make a movie about it. But the book itself was more of like a guide. And so she needed to like make some characters and tell a story about Mean Girls. And so she did. And it's now like a classic. And so in 2017, they decided to make it a Broadway musical. It follows that trend of just turning everything into musicals. Why isn't Shrek a musical? Now it is. But unfortunately, although the musical is fun, people had to ask the question, like, why did you make this? Like, what's the actual point? But then 7 more years passed by, and it came to 20th anniversary time. So instead of just remaking it, Tina Fey and her brilliant team decided, what if we made a movie musical? A movie and a musical. And so that's what they did in 2024. On January 12th, 2024, Mean Girls hit theaters. The first problem came like this. Okay, so when they were marketing the film, instead of like any music from this musical movie, they like just decided to go with like Olivia Rodrigo and not even really allude to this being a musical.
We as women have to be able to support each other.
Get in, loser.
It kind of just looked like a remake of Mean Girls. And so way too many people came into the theater thinking this was just a remake, and then they found out it was a musical. And so I think that's what really kind of sealed this as a failure, is if they just tried to make a film version of the musical and market it as that, I think it would have done fine. But it's the fact that they kind of tricked like most of its audience into thinking that it was just a fun remake with modern actors. And then the other problem is the actors don't sing very well. Another huge issue with the music in this movie is they opted not just to change out some songs for softer ones, but even some of the like brighter, bigger songs, they switched to like this weird like TikTok-y like Spotify.
Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the new songs? Because I know he said he wanted it to sound like something you hear on Spotify as opposed to a Broadway musical.
Like actually why? Like genuinely why? They pretty much based their entire adaptation on the Broadway script. Anything that was left out of Broadway is just absolutely left out of 2024. There are some things that were in Broadway that didn't make it to 2024, but nothing was like added from 2004 and put in 2024. It's unfortunately based purely on the Broadway script, which is a silly move. I don't know why they did that. But it's not just based on the script and then made into a movie. They also just removed 8 songs. Why? So then in the Broadway version, they decided to make Janice and Damien more like narrators, which was a good move. I really like that. They make them kind of narrators of the story. They're still in the story, but then they also have moments of like narration and talking to the audience. And so they have an opening song, A Cautionary Tale. Really cool. I like it. In the 2024 version, they have it like being filmed as like a TikTok in their garage, and that's a nice touch. Then the next song in Broadway is It Roars, which is a Katie song where she sings about comparing life in Africa versus life in Illinois. This song was replaced by What Ifs, which is a much softer song with like really lame lyrics in comparison, and it's... Then you have Where Do You Belong? This is a song where Damien is kind of pointing out different groups of lunch tables and groups where it's like, where would Katie fit? Da, 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 da. And then eventually she's like, okay, I'll sit with you guys, Janice and Damien. And Where Do You Belong was just cut. And then Meet the Plastics, which was cut short in the 2024 version. They just removed Gretchen and Karen's verses. And yeah, that's it. Then you have Stupid with Love. That's when... Katie meets Aaron and she's like, oh, I'm so stupid with love. They did something really stupid with this one. I'm going to play a clip from the Broadway version.
I'm astounded and I'm lost. I am filled with tattoo lust. Does this guy work out? He must. I'll sweaty at the gym.
Okay, now listen to what they did with the 2024 version.
I'm astounded and nonplussed. I am filled with calculus. Does this guy work out? He must. All sweaty at the gym.
Yeah, so So that part that's supposed to be kind of like a relief of the line, all sweaty at the gym, becomes this weird like, all sweaty at the gym. And it's like, that was not supposed to be emphasized so much, but you did anyway. Okay. Tend to be plastic, you just fully became plastic. So the songs that were cut, It Roars, kind of replaced / cut, but cut. Where Do You Belong? Fearless. Stop. What's Wrong With Me? Reprise, but like it's a reprise. It's fine. What's Wrong With Me? Reprise. Whose House Is This? More Is Better. And Do This Thing. So that's all 8. Yay. So look, Tina Fey just loves Mean Girls, right? And I don't blame her. Like, I don't think by making all these products, she's trying to like capitalize on this hit that she had. I feel like she just loves this story so much and wants to see it in as many versions as possible. So like, yeah, she made a Broadway musical. She allowed high schools to perform it, and then she made a 2024 remake of the musical. And I bet in 5 to 7 years she'll make another remake of the original. It's because Mean Girls is a cultural touchstone, and like, although it is a timeless classic, it's kind of fun to just poke around sometimes and cast a really hot woman as Regina George. I like Mean Girls 2024 because it's a fun Gen Z experience of Mean Girls. Yes, I completely agree that classic scenes were missed out. I completely agree that the songs aren't that great. I completely agree that even the casting is a little rough at times. But it's kind of fun. Thank you for attending my breakdown of Mean Girls. If you liked it, please subscribe. If you didn't, please go away. And that's the end of the video.